Not feeling like yourself is an extremely uncomfortable place to be at in life. It's just a place that you just don't want to be at because when you don't feel like yourself, you hold yourself back. You constantly feel stuck. You find yourself in the same situations and patterns over and over again. You just feel like you're not progressing in life. And worst of all, not feeling like yourself makes you feel so freaking hopeless. And it makes you feel like this is all there is. Is this what my life is like? Is this what it's going to be like forever? And it's definitely a place that you don't want to get stuck at because when you don't feel like yourself, you keep yourself in your safe zone, in your comfort zone, and nothing beautiful can come from that. You can't experience any sort of growth, any sort of progression in life when you're stuck in that place. If you're new to this channel, my name is Dr. Bisley Natley. I'm a cognitive behavioral therapy certified naturopathic doctor, and I teach people how to rewire their brain naturally. I work with so many people on a daily basis who tell me that they don't feel like themselves, that they feel like they're stuck in brain fog, low motivation, low energy, that they can't focus, they can't concentrate, they're maybe stuck in anxiety or low mood, and they just want to find a way back home to themselves. And, as much as I say I help people rewire their brain naturally, what I really do is I help people come back home to themselves. I help people come back home to that power, that potential, that incredibleness that lies within them, and really show themselves how, when they come back home to themselves, they can really unleash that inner greatness that lies within them. And that's the same thing that I want for you as well. I want you to come back home to yourself. If you feel like you've spent years being away from yourself, you spent so much time being away from yourself that you don't even know what coming home to yourself looks like, that's okay. You are in the right spot at the right time. And you're exactly where you need to be right now, because this video is going to give you some insight as to why you feel like you're so far away from yourself, and what are some small things that you can start doing to really start to feel like yourself again. Because the more in alignment that you are with yourself, that inner truth, inner knowing, inner greatness that lies within, the better, honestly, that your life starts to feel. I've spent years of my life feeling like I was far away from myself and who I truly was when I was really struggling with my depression and my anxiety. And that journey that I took to come back home to myself was the most healing, most incredible journey that I've ever taken. And I still feel like I'm on that path every single day. And every single step I take just gets me closer and closer to my inner truth and knowing, which is what then allows me to step into the world and help as many people as possible with this. So let's go through some reasons as to why you feel like you're not yourself. Number one biggest reason that I see so many of us are not feeling like ourselves anymore is because our nervous system is stuck in a fight or flight state. So if this word nervous system is completely new to you, let me explain to you what it means. When I'm talking about your nervous system, there's a couple of different branches, but specifically the branch I'm talking about is called your autonomic nervous system. This is a part of your nervous system that's responsible for controlling automatic things in your brain and your body. So things like your breathing rate, your heart rate, your digestion, these are things that your autonomic nervous system controls. And the two branches of this autonomic nervous system are the parasympathetic branch and the sympathetic branch. The parasympathetic branch is also called our resting and digesting state. So this is when, you're feeling really calm and everything in your body just loosens and relaxes and slows down. On the other hand, you have the sympathetic state. This is also called the stress state, or called the fight or flight state. And when you're in this state, everything in your body constricts, it tightens up, and things oftentimes speed up when you're stuck in this fight or flight state. It's essentially when we find ourselves chronically stuck in that fight or flight state that takes us further and further away from ourselves. Because when you're stuck in that fight or flight state, I also like to call it the automatic state, you're basically stuck in reactive mode. You're not able to actually take a step back and look at what version of yourself you're showing up as. And instead, all day long, every single day, you're just reacting. And when we're in that reacting mode, we can never be in full alignment with ourselves and who we are. We can't be conscious about the version of ourselves that we're showing up as. Instead, usually when you are stuck in that automatic reactive mode, you are acting based on old patterns, old beliefs, old thoughts, even if they aren't serving you, even if they're not the best for you in this moment, because your nervous system is stuck in this state. I've worked with so many patients whose nervous system is dysregulated, out of whack. And as soon as we start to re-regulate that nervous system and get them back on track with themselves and who they are, their inner self shows up. They come back home to themselves. They start acting in alignment with who they truly are, which means setting boundaries with people they don't want to be around, saying no more often, taking bold, big actions on their goals and dreams and things that they truly want to accomplish in their life. One of the most important things that you can do to come back home to yourself is to start learning how to switch from the fight or flight state to the resting and digesting state. And the more that you can do that, the more that you will end up acting in alignment with yourself and who you are. Number two reason why you don't feel like yourself anymore is oftentimes because we have these underlying limiting beliefs that we end up cycling through over and over and over again. And so what is your limiting belief? So each one of us has a core limiting belief. And what starts to happen is that this limiting belief essentially shapes the way that we see the world around us. It shapes the way that we see ourselves within our world. And what starts to happen is that you constantly pull yourself back down to this limiting belief, to this view of how you see yourself in the world around you. And your brain, what I want you to understand, is always acting in congruence to what you believe about yourself. And these limiting beliefs are often very subconscious. They're formed at a very young age. And then what starts to happen is that it starts to come out in our world and in our life when we're adults, even though that belief is no longer serving us. And oftentimes the way that we developed as a way to cope with these beliefs as a child, we do the same things as adults, but they really don't help us get anywhere in life when we're adults trying to cope with this belief. And so understanding what your limiting belief is becomes so important, because my core limiting belief was I'm not worthy. And what would happen is that any time that I would progress in life or move forward, I would constantly pull myself back to this view of I am not worthy. And that is not my true truth. And that's what I want you to realize is your limiting belief is not your truth. My truth is that I am worthy. And coming home to myself is understanding that that is my truth. And so forms of limiting beliefs are feeling like you're a failure, feeling like you are helpless, feeling like you're not loved. And what starts to happen is that we find ways to constantly make this story be true about ourselves, even if it's not serving us in a positive way. And your brain will constantly pull you back to what you believe about yourself. And so understanding and uncovering your limiting beliefs, I do this with all of my patients and my coaching clients. And, we really uncover it within the first 5 to 10 minutes of working together. And every single mindset strategy I give is then based off of this limiting belief, because I don't do anything random in my practice with the people I work with. It's all specific strategies designed to help you overcome your beliefs, those blocks, in a very specific, holistic way. For everybody, it looks a little bit different. And so uncovering these beliefs is honestly truly one of the most helpful things you can do for your mindset, because you'll finally start to understand what do you keep pulling yourself back to and how you can truly start to break out of that so that you can really just come back home to yourself. And it's not the part of yourself that feels less than or not enough. It's the part of yourself that feels like they're deserving, that feels like they are worthy, because that is your real truth. And reason number 3 as to why you don't feel like yourself is because you're probably not taking care of your body. How are you going to ever feel like yourself if you're not moving, if you're sleeping poorly, if you are literally eating takeout every single day? You're not. No matter how much mindset work you do, no matter how many positive affirmations or meditations you do, you're just never going to feel like yourself, because your body is not functioning well. And because your body's not functioning well, you don't have any energy. You have brain fog. You're feeling lethargic. You're feeling slow. And that is not your truth. Your truth is being in a state of high energy. Your truth is thinking clearly. Your truth is having that, what do you call that? Joie de vivre, whatever it's called in French, of life. And you can't do that in a body that isn't functioning well. And I remember when I was trying to heal through my depression and anxiety, I was doing everything. And it wasn't until that I started to support the vessel that is my body that things truly started to shift for me. So what did that look like for me? It meant feeding my body right. It meant making sure I was going to the gym every single day. It meant making sure my sleep hygiene was on freaking point. And when I started to give my brain and body the nutrients it needed, and when I moved right, when I started getting deep quality restful sleep, coming home to myself felt so easy. Letting my inner truth power shine felt so much easier for me to do. Taking care of your body has to be an integral part of your healing journey, because if you don't, then you'll continue to find yourself stuck in the same cycles over and over and over again, and you'll feel even more frustrated at the mindset work that you're doing because you're not supporting your body in a healthy way. It's so important that if you find yourself being in a place where you don't feel like yourself, that you don't just try to push through this. I have tried to push through this myself and it does not work. Pushing through and the doing, if you're not doing the right things, is only going to actually make things worse. Another piece to remember is you really want to make sure that you're not shaming yourself through this process. Shame doesn't help you grow. Shame keeps you more stuck. The more you criticize and shame yourself, the less you're going to be able to grow. And I have been, really through the cycles of shame. Shame has been a big emotion that has ruled my life for a long time and has prevented me from really allowing me to feel the joys of life. And so really trying to look at and understand, is shame playing any sort of a role in your life? And are you constantly making yourself potentially feel like you are a bad person because of where you're at in life? Because all of those feelings, they're going to prevent you from actually getting to a place of feeling good and prevent you from getting to a place of coming home to yourself. And the other thing to remember too is that this is not something you can out-discipline. You can't out-discipline this stuff. You can't out-discipline coming home to yourself. Discipline isn't going to make any of it better. Willpower isn't going to make any of it better because you're not addressing what is actually wrong at the core, at the root. And until you start addressing what is wrong at the core, at the root, only then will you actually start noticing meaningful changes. So addressing the nervous system, addressing the limiting belief, addressing the things, that are causing your body to experience dysfunction. If you don't, until you address those things, you will not get to a place of feeling better. With that being said, where do you start with this? What are the first few steps that you take to truly come back home to yourself? First things first is I want you to pull out a pen and paper and write down everything in your life that you have right now that is not in alignment with yourself. That includes people, it includes habits, it includes the day-to-day activities and tasks that you're doing. Maybe look at your job and your career. Look at all of those things in all of those areas, how you're spending your money. Go through your entire life and literally do an audit and ask yourself, are these things aligned with your inner knowing, your inner truth, or are they taking you further away from that? And these are honestly really, really hard things to face, but it's what you need to do. I remember when I was struggling with my depression, I ended up in the hospital once because that's how bad my depression got. And I went home after the hospital and I literally wrote down everything that I felt like was wrong with my life. And I set about changing every single one of those things. And if I hadn't done that scary tasks of looking at what is wrong, because it's terrifying to face everything that's wrong, because that means requiring to take responsibility of your life. If I hadn't done that, I would have probably been in the same spot. And I did go about changing every single one of those things. And that is the reason that I am here today speaking to you. And if I hadn't done that, I wouldn't have been. And I mean, really, the next step for you is to go about changing each one of those things. But if you write those things down and you're just like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. What are some small, simple action steps that I can do to get? Number one, start by taking care of your body. Seriously. And I don't mean go on some Weight Watchers program or lose those 50 pounds or whatever. No, I mean just doing simple things to take care of your body. So you have those sections of diet, movement, sleep. What is one action step in each of those areas that you can do today to take care of your body? So maybe for diet, it's simply just starting to eat breakfast. Maybe for movement, it's just making sure you're going to go on a 30-minute walk. And maybe for sleep, it's simply putting your phone away 30 minutes before bed. And those are just the 3 simple things that you're going to commit to taking care of your body. Like that sounds very doable. And it does not sound overwhelming. And once you've mastered those 3 things for a month or 2, then you can add on one more thing in each area, then one more thing in each area until you feel like you're in that optimized place. Okay. Number 2, doing something every single day to protect your nervous system, to deregulate. To deregulate, I don't even know if deregulation is a word. To unregulate, to fix a dysregulated nervous system. Yeah, I hopefully you know what I'm talking about. To basically get yourself from that sympathetic state to that parasympathetic state. If I can tell you from my life, what has made the biggest shift and difference that I've been doing for the past 1 to 2 months now is I have been doing 3 10-minute meditations every single day. So whether that's me listening to a guided meditation, or what I'll do is I'll just put a timer on my Apple Watch for about 10 minutes and I'll just sit and breathe deeply. Holy smokes, I did not even realize how much of a big impact just doing this simple exercise would have made in my life. My awareness, my inner strength, my just everything in relation to my connection with me has increased 100 times in this past month, like 100x'd. It's been so, so wild. And so, honestly, even if you just want to commit to that and maybe you do it even just for 5 minutes, 3 times a day, because we just live in such an overstimulated world. And you have to understand that the more stimulated you are, the further you are away from yourself. And so, when you decrease, turn the dial down on that stimulation, when you get quiet and look within, you build true inner strength. And that's how you actually come home to yourself. But you're just so distracted right now that you can't even come home to yourself. So just trying to do that deep breathing, that belly breathing, and doing it as many times as you can during the day is going to help you come back home to yourself in a way that is so, so powerful that no therapy, nothing outside of you can ever help you cultivate that inner power as deep as you just coming home to yourself by taking these deep breaths. Seriously, it's just so, so powerful. And if you want to get real support with coming home to yourself, come join me in the 30-day brain reset program. It's only $99 for the whole month, which is less than one therapy session. And here's everything that you get. We meet every single Sunday. It starts August 10th for 90 minutes. I'm going to go through the topics of mindset, nervous system regulation, diet, movement, sleep, supplements within the month. So it's going to be 60 minutes of teaching each week, and then you're going to have 30 minutes to ask me questions. You're going to be part of the WhatsApp community. There's going to be worksheets and activities for you to do every single week. And then you also get access to the self-concept builder program that I have within this course as well, completely free. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, use the link in the bio to, check it out. And if you have any questions, I'm always here to help you and support you. And remember, this journey might feel like it's difficult. It might feel like you're like 100,000 miles away from yourself. But I promise you, if you just start by taking simple steps today, you're going to come back home to yourself so fast.